Welcome to the match day news. That's right, guys. It is match day. We are here on Sunday. It is time for Rangers to go back top of the league after that lot won, obviously 3-1 yesterday against St Johnstone. We need to get ourselves back up there. You know, it's going to be a game where it's time to. I think I was listening to Club at 22 last night whilst I was walking the dog. I love Club at 22, but one of the best podcasts out there. And they were talking about it's time to empty the tank. Yeah, it is. It's time to empty the tank. It's time to kind of finish strong. We've got 2 weeks off after this game, effectively with the international break. So it's time to really empty the tank, go all out and try and get that victory. Now, will it be easy? No, of course it won't be easy. You know, I think there will still be an element of lethargy, an element of tiredness in this squad, dating obviously going back to across the, from Thursday night in what was a game where they looked tired and off the pace a little bit. And I know Philippe Clement spoke today about a fire, a desire, a hunger to go out and actually win that game today. Now, you know, Rangers are in a position where we are, pretty much picking what we have. You look at the squad, you look at the injuries we've got, you look at the fitness of the players, you look at the players that are coming back that are not fully match fit. And Clement on his face was some difficult decisions. Of course he is, without Seema, without Cortez, you've kind of not got that natural left-sided wide player. Ideally, perhaps Silva isn't a left-sided player. I think he's more a 10, if I'm being honest with you. Sterling is out. So, right side, you're going to be looking at who's fitter, Matondo, McCausland. I really hope he doesn't go with Scott Wright again. Nothing against Scott Wright. I don't hate the guy. I don't, dislike the guy. I just don't think he's a very good footballer. So personally, wouldn't be playing Scott Wright out there. He wasn't terrible against Benfica by any stretch of the imagination. He wasn't the worst player on the pitch by quite a way. But at the end of the day, he just isn't good enough for this Rangers team. And to me, we do need to look at what the best possible team is. And I really don't want to see Borna Barisic anywhere near that team tomorrow. I think in terms of the back four, you've kind of got to go with what's tried and tested. As I've said on a number of videos now, you don't chop and change a back four. You look back at, like I said, other teams across time that have rotated, but the back four, the back five, if you include the goalkeeper, always stays the same. A unit, a coherent unit that know each other. They know how each other works. They know how each other moves. They know what spaces each other takes up. They know how each other plays. They know what the goalkeeper wants. They know where the goalkeeper wants them, where he doesn't want them. And for me, that's why we have to look at, keeping this back four and this back five, really. I mean, Butland obviously is outstanding, but the back four in front of him, pretty much the same to the end of the season. The only player you can really kind of argue that deserves maybe a role within that back four is Leon Balogun, who has been excellent this season for us. And you could argue that Leon Balogun could come in equally and give someone like Connor Goldson a rest. Connor, I think, does need a rest. I can't see the manager doing that. I think that if he's going to rotate anyone out, it will be John Souttar, which I think isn't fair on John, given how well he's played this season. I mean, yeah, he has had the odd mistake, but then again, so is Connor Goldson. And look, if Souttar and Goldson didn't make the mistakes that they made, if they were practically perfect and didn't make those errors, they wouldn't be playing for us now, would they? They would have played for us and then been sold on for big fees to, top English, top Spanish, top German teams for big fees. That's unfortunately the world we do live in. And whilst I'd love every player who is outstanding, who is world class, who is absolutely brilliant to stay at this club for the rest of his career and be outstanding for us, it just realistically is not going to happen given the amount of money down south and the money on the continent. So Dundee are, they're not a bad team. They're a decent team. Like I said on the preview video yesterday, they now sit 7th, obviously, with the win by Hibernian yesterday. So they'll be looking to get back into that top 6. They play a pretty consistent team. Obviously, they got Main, the hammer thrower up front. Silla's a decent player. McCowan's a decent player. Tiffany's a decent player. There's some decent players on that team. But again, you look at that 3-5-2 or 3-4-3 or whatever system they end up playing, or 3-4-1-2. What we've got should be enough to overcome Dundee. And it's almost... No, it's almost arrogance to say this, and I'm sorry for saying it. And if you think it's arrogant, let me know in the comments. But if we can't beat Dundee, we don't deserve to win the league. I mean, that's quite simply it, isn't it? I mean, they that lot battered them 7-1 the other day. This is a game we should be winning. Is it about performance tomorrow? No, not really. It's about winning tomorrow. That's what it's about for me today. Sorry, it's about winning today. It's not about a performance. If a performance comes, fantastic, great, brilliant. But I just think with the amount of injuries you've got, with the lethargy in the squad, the tiredness of all the games they've played, I do think that this is a critical period. And it is just a case of get the 3 points up the road, get home, no injuries. Let's just focus on then getting into the international break. Now, I think in the international break, those players who are not heading off on international duty will be given days off, time with their family, time to rest, time to recuperate, time to regenerate, and then come back to training refreshed and ready to go for the end of the season. And that, is what we need. Now, you know me, I hate international football. I think it's a ball ache. I think it's boring. I think it's a waste of time, and any international break is always way too long. But it's kind of come at the right time for Rangers. It really genuinely has. Now, I know, Philippe Clement's Rangers teams are exceptionally hard to predict. When you think you've got a handle on it, he will change it and he'll move it around and he'll bring in somebody else and he'll bring somebody else in and you'll just go, well, didn't see that happening. That was, oh, okay, fair enough. Trust the boss, trust what he does, trust how he does it. Now, I think there's a few players that tomorrow, even though this is the last game before the international break, could do with a bit of a break, a bit of a rest. For example, Mo Diamonde, I think he looks tired. I think he had a very bad game on Thursday. I think the last couple of games he hasn't played to the fullest of his capabilities. I don't think he's been as dreadful as some people have made out. So I had some stupid comments on X about him. I think he needs a break. The lad had that big period without football from November. Then he's been thrown in. He's now played a lot. I just think it's time he needs a rest. Keep him on the bench, certainly, but it's time he was rested. Now, I actually thought Nicholas Raskin did okay when he came on Thursday night. And I know there's a lot of hate out there for Nicholas Raskin. Yes, I use the word hate. There is a lot of hate for Nicholas Raskin. I think he's building himself back up. Yes, he has not reached the levels that he reached at the end of last season. I get that. I fully back that philosophy. But for me, he looked all right when he came on. And you've got to kind of give him a chance now to prove himself, to show that he is worth a place. See that he is a Rangers player. If not, we use him. He lets us down 2 or 3 games. Doesn't play great. You take him off. You put someone else on. And then you punt him at the end of the season. That's just how it has to work. We've got to kind of, in this period as well, not only win these games to win the league and win the Scottish Cup, but also evaluate what we've got and evaluate what we need going into the summer. Now, the team that I've picked for today's game is this. So, you know what? I found this exceptionally hard. I really did. You look at it and you just think, well, he can't play. He's injured. What about, no, he can't really play there. Oh, no, he's injured as well. Oh, he's not fully fit. Oh, I suppose he could do. And it's a tough one. I don't know how Phil Clement does it. I know he speaks to his medical staff a lot. He's talked about that. But this is what I've gone with. And I'll explain this to me. And what I'd love to know is, what's your team for today? Let me know in the comments down below. How would you start today against Dundee? So, obviously, Jack Butland picked himself. I mean, he's the best goalkeeper in Scotland. And, he was unlucky not to be in the England squad. He really was. I mean, you look at the goalkeepers that Gareth Southgate selected, Jordan Pickford. I don't think Pickford's that great a goalkeeper. Aaron Ramsdale, who last time out against Arsenal had a massive ricket and cost them a goal. Can't get in the team now. David Raya's their starting keeper. And the lad from Crystal Palace. Well, Palace are down the bottom of the league and have not got a great defensive record. So that kind of tells you that it's story there. I think it is snobbery from Southgate. I really do. I think, Butland has proved himself in Europe. He's proved himself at every level. So I just think it's pure unadulterated snobbery, if I'm being honest with you. So, yeah, Butland, obviously, outstanding. Love Jack Butland a bit. Back four, I've kept the back four the same, and I really pray that Clement does the same, and we don't want to see Barisic. We saw the real Borna Barisic in that Kilmarnock away game. He's done at this club. He really is. He's there as an emergency cover only. So Tavernier, obviously, at right back. Goldson and Suter. I would personally give Connor a rest and play Balogun, but I don't think the manager does that. I think Connor and Suter will start in the centre of defence, keep the same defensive pairing. They both did quite well on Thursday night. They weren't dreadful. Ridvan Yilmaz, who is he's been our best player in the last few games, even on Thursday night. I mean, I read some ratings and some content on him that said he was poor. I think that's very unfair. I thought he was quite good. I mean, sometimes his final ball did let him down, but I think as well he's showing a bit of fatigue. So for me, Ridvan's got to start. Now I'm going to go with Raskin and Lundstrom. I don't think Lundstrom had the best of games Thursday night. I think it was all right. I don't think anyone had a good game Thursday night, if I'm being honest with you. But, Lundy's been outstanding under Phil Clement. Again, he's been getting a bit of bashing on Twitter and on the social media. I know social media is poisonous. I know Rangers' social media is a very poisonous place. But Lundy starts, and I put Raskin in alongside him. We've got to start to see with Raskin what have we got. He can make those runs. He can influence the attack as well. He can get forward. He can pick up a pass out. We've got to start to see, is he going to ever get back? If he's not, then we've got to disregard him for the rest of the season. But we've got to see, is he up to it? If not, you take him off at half-time, whenever. 3 across the behind the main striker. Ross McCausland. Look, I don't think it's a great choice there. You've got Scott Wright, who is just dreadful. You've got Robbie Matondo, who is not fit. And you have got Ross McCausland, who is not really fit. So you've got to go look at, I think, who is going to be the fittest out of the 3 of them, or who is going to be the better out of the 3 of them. Again, I think you go with young Ross, probably give him 45 minutes, take him off at half-time maybe, and give Robbie 45 minutes. It may have to be that way just because that is, I think, the nature of the beast with this squad at the moment. And Ross is direct, he's more attacking-minded, so I would go with Ross. And I think, against a Dundee team that will make it hard for us to play, that'll, want to get stuck in. I think it is, a case of needing young Ross in there. Fabio Silva on the left because, look, I know he was poor on Thursday, but, he's been good in games before. And also, you've kind of got to think, well, what else is there? There is literally nothing else. Cortez is injured. Matondo is not fully fit. Seema is injured. Scott Wright is not a left winger. Tom Lawrence is not a left winger. I know he's played on the wing in his career, but he realistically at this stage of his career is not a winger. So, Silva's really got to start out there. Now, I would go with Todd Cantwell, even if you just get an hour, 45, 50 minutes out of him. I just think the team need a lift. The team need a bit of something extra, a bit of extra pep, a bit of extra energy, a bit of extra je ne sais quoi. And Todd Cantwell will give you that. That's the sort of man Todd is. He's Todd the Prod. He loves Rangers. He loves the fans. He gets it. He gets what it is to play for us. So for me, I'm going with Todd up front. Now I'm going to go for Kemar Roofe up front, even if we only get an hour out of him, because look, I know he's injury prone, and I know he might fall over his own shoelaces and bust his hamstring, but Cyril Dessers, to me, is just not up to the job. And if a chance falls, we need to be more clinical. We're not clinical enough in front of goal, whereas I think Kemar Roofe is probably the most clinical. You look at the 3 strikers we've got, Danilo, Roofe, and Dessers. I think if Roofe and Danilo and Dessers are all fit, Dessers is your 3rd striker. He's not going to get in over Roofe. He's not going to get in over Danilo. Why? He's not as good as them. Simple as. So I would go Roofe tomorrow. You've got Dessers to come in. Dessers is actually probably more effective off the bench, if I'm being honest. But I'd go with Roofe up top. He I think can get you a goal and get the game started, get us an early goal. A chance falls to him. He's usually quite sharp. He'll take that chance. I thought he looked okay away in Lisbon the other week. He didn't look great on Thursday, but then again, like I said, no one looked good on Thursday. But for me, Kemar Roofe up front, I think, is the best option. So that's my starting 11. Jack Butland, James Tavernier, Connor Goldson, John Suter, Ridvan Yilmaz, John Lundstrom, Nicholas Raskin, Ross McCausland, Todd Cantwell, Fabio Silva, and Kemar Roofe. What is your starting 11? Let me know in the comments down below. Look, whatever happens, this is a must-win game. This is a game we've got to get 3 points in it. Again, it's got to be a quick start. There cannot be any lethargy today. Like I said, empty the tank, give your all. You've got 2 weeks off, the large part of you. Yes, I know some players are heading off on international duty and they don't get time off, but that's just the nature of the beast when you play for a club like Rangers. So it's going out there from minute 1, into them from the start. Move the ball quickly. That's the key. Against teams like this, against poor teams like Dundee, it's about moving the ball quickly. It's about not being passive. It's about being active, proactive in the final third, about being creative. And I think Todd Cantwell can give you that extra energy. You look at how he leads the press, how he pushes on. So for me, that's how I line up. That's how I want to see them start tomorrow. Okay, guys, let me know your thoughts on today's game. Sorry, I keep saying tomorrow because I record this Saturday night because I'm at work on Sunday. So there we go, guys. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know your results. Let me know your predictions. Prediction for tomorrow, I'm going to go 3-1 Rangers. First goal scorer, I'm going to go for Kemar Roofe if he starts. Okay, guys, let me know your predictions and your teams in the comments. Thanks for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation. And as always, if you could smash the sub, that would be amazing. Thanks for watching. On the way out, 2 jobs. Number 1, smash the like. And number 2, always remember, we are the people.